Hello, I am J.Chester Johnson, a writer who grew up in Monticello. On behalf of the mayor, city council, and several outstanding citizens of the community, I want to share with you the extraordinary, compelling story surrounding the Dollar-Reeves murders that occurred in Monticello in 1868. The simultaneous killing of two men of different races. The renewed discovery of these murders and the significant related history gave rise to the creation of the Memorial Reconciliation Bench. History has led us to believe the Civil War ended on April the 9th, 1865, when Robert E. Lee surrendered his army to General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. But that is an overstatement of reality, and the combined murders of Dollar and Reeves several years following Appomattox are a good example. The continuation of notable hostilities after Appomattox between major factions of the country contributed to the Dollar-Reeves murders. And even today, remnants of those separate factions are present. For instance, a reader of my book, Damaged Heritage, recently asked me in an email, has the Civil War actually ended? Following Lee's surrender, Arkansas faced numerous and sometimes bloody discord between those who adhered to white supremacy and supported the South's position in the war, as against blacks in the state, together with white Republicans who were often recent immigrants to Arkansas. Governor Powell Clayton, at the time of the Dollar-Reeves killings, had previously settled in the state after fighting for Union forces there. Earlier, he lived in Pennsylvania and Kansas. As governor, Clayton meant to establish order and to follow the ideologies that prevailed in the monumental conflict between the northern and southern states. The Republican candidate for president in 1868, Ulysses S. Grant, endorsed a Reconstruction program to eliminate vestiges of slavery. At the same time, the Democratic presidential candidate, Horatio Seymour, aligned himself with the attitudes of former Confederates and opposed Reconstruction and black equality and suffrage. The Ku Klux Klan and members of the then Democratic Party in the state pursued a program of intimidation, physical attacks, and even death against blacks and white pro-Republican Arkansans. This plan of action by the Klan and Democrats was especially pronounced in Monticello and Drew County, which had become a center of resistance against blacks and Republicans. Prior to October 10, 1868, and less than a month before the election on November 3rd, William Dollar and Fred Reeves were killed at the hands of 14 to 15 Klansmen. Apparently close to members of the black community, the white Deputy Sheriff Dollar had been targeted specifically as a result of his progressive views toward race. The moments leading up to the murders are murky. One source says Dollar had been serving a writ when attacked. Another says he was at home. Moreover, one source indicates that Reeves, who was black, had been unoffending, which suggests he unluckily happened on the scene, while two other sources offer no opinion at all about how Reeves got involved. The two were shot and dragged, or dragged and then shot, or led and shot. After being killed, Dollar and Reeves were tied together and then put into an embrace to send a message that there were dire consequences waiting for anyone who crossed the color line. For 2 days, the posed dead duo rotted in the sun. To put these deaths in context, We should look further at the near-term circumstances that unfolded in Arkansas, Monticello, and Drew County around the time of the deaths of Dollar and Reeves. For example, before the November 3rd election, the Klan kidnapped prospective Republican voters in Monticello, and white Republican leaders in town were threatened with assassination. As a result, several Drew County officials declared themselves Democratic to escape this treatment, and blacks were told they would be killed if they voted Republican. In such an environment, nearly 1,300 votes were cast in Drew County for Seymour against only 33 for Grant. However, because of the well-known tactics of intimidation and terror that had been exhibited by those in support of the Democratic Seymour, the election results from Drew were disqualified. Other Arkansas counties where the Klan and its allies conducted terrorism also had election results disallowed. 14 Arkansas counties in aggregate. Within days of the voting, Governor Clayton imposed martial law on Drew County. 13 other counties in Arkansas were treated similarly around the same time. 4 days after the vote, Clayton divided Arkansas into 4 military districts, with the counties for which the martial law had been declared, including Drew, being occupied by militia forces. The black militia units for the southeastern part of the state arrived in Monticello on November the 30th. In turn, a delegation from Drew County of leading citizens from both parties then met with Governor Clayton and was successful in convincing the governor to let them raise a home militia on a nonpartisan basis. In December, the militia from the southwestern part of the state joined with the southeastern militia at Monticello. A number of arrests were made, including one of the Klansmen who murdered Dollar and Reeves in October. He was tried by a military commission, found guilty, and was executed. Apparently, his fellow killers fled the county. One writer characterized the Monticello-Drew County saga this way: by these means, one of the worst trouble spots in the state was rapidly pacified.